Hey everybody, KC here, coming to you from Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm actually on Greenwich Avenue, which is the main shopping strip here. And we spend a lot of time talking about the future of department stores on Morning News. Frankly, everybody talks a lot about the future of department stores. It's not hard to do when you look at a company like Kohl's, which is in the process of being sold, possibly to a company that knows a lot more about franchising than it knows about department stores. When you got JCPenney, which seems to be operating in another decade, there are so few department store companies out there that seem to be really existing in a place that makes sense for the 21st century. Nordstrom is one. Macy's, they tend to have good quarters and they have bad quarters, but it's a very questionable business model, which is why the store behind me, which is owned by Saks, it's a former Ralph Lauren polo store. That's why this interests me so much. Because while Saks owns it and Saks runs it, it's not a department store. It's actually a co-working space, and it's called Saks Works. And it's actually being managed for the moment by WeWork, although that they're transitioning to another co-working company called Convene. And basically what this is part of a small chain of co-working spaces that Saks is now running. They have two in New York City, including one that's in their Fifth Avenue flagship store, and this one here in Greenwich. And they're going to open one apparently in Westchester, one on Long Island. And with Convene, they may actually expand around the country and maybe even internationally. And basically, there are about 350 members who are part of the entire Saks Works network. 75 of them are here. There's about 70 working spaces inside. And it's really kind of interesting. They've got a little restaurant attached to it, a little cafe. It's open, although that's open to both people who are members or not. If you want to be a member, it's about $3,000 a year, $300 a month, or if you want a day pass, it's about $50. But I don't think it augurs well for the department store business when you see a company like Saks that's trying to get into something that's so far beyond what its traditional business model is. Although, I suppose you could argue, if they see the traditional business model going to hell, they've got to figure out different ways to kind of stay relevant, stay resident, and please their stockholders. So maybe it does make an awful lot of sense. I have to say, when I see this, one of the things I think about is the Nordstrom Local store. And wouldn't it be interesting if Nordstrom Local actually developed a co-working space as part of its entry in the business? They would kind of give it a little bit more of an offering without having the entire department store involved. Listen, I'm not sure if Nordstrom is interested in getting into that space, if you will, and I have no idea if Saks is interested in opening Saks Local stores. But it would seem to me that it might make a lot of sense to find a way to marry those two concepts. Anyway, we'll see how it works out. We'll see if it's a good idea or a bad idea. For the moment, I'm a little skeptical, but I'm trying to be open-minded. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.